I am a person like you, and I do not have all the answers, but I have some ideas that I've been applying in my day-to-day life to make me actively happier. I bet that what many people dream of, including me, is being able to have fun for hours on end, and you probably do that these times, but I also bet that this isn't making you any happier. Have you ever woken up one day needing to work or study for a fixed number of hours and with the rest of the day to do whatever you want, and yet you were tired, unmotivated, and unwilling to do things even for fun? Yeah, this is not as rare as you think, since I myself have gone through this too many times this quarantine. The good news is that we can change that with a few simple steps. One would imagine that staying at home without sitting through traffic, without experiencing the chaos, without going through the stress of public transportation, and without stressing at work or school, we would be happier. But do you really feel that way? Think of all the free hours you have today. If you keep working from home or studying by the internet, you don't experience traffic jams anymore, for example, which is about 2 extra hours you just gained. In that amount of time, we can play a lot more video games, finally watch the series we want, and be with our families and maybe friends by phone or video calls. Only more than ever, we seem to feel tired, sometimes sad, and even desolate. So, I am going to share with you some personal experiences with the aim of making you a little bit happier in these times that need not to be as bad as they seem. Starting with the most practical tips, one thing that I have really enjoyed doing is looking at the sun. Not directly at it, of course, but feeling the nature from inside the house. It may sound silly, but I feel that I am way more awake with the heat and light, especially when it comes from the sun. In my experience, the more days I stay at home without going out to the balcony or the garage or the yard to take a breath, the more tired and unmotivated I feel. Even opening the window to look at the sunny environment and catching some light already makes me feel much more alive than when sitting in front of the screens all day long. The next tip, which is one of the most important but perhaps not very useful for gamers, is to turn off the news. I know that those who play a lot of video games don't usually watch television, but a lot of people don't turn off the news channels all day, and we must agree, it just makes things worse. There's no point in following every detail, every number that changes constantly. We seem to be bombarded with information by the media all the time, but we don't need any of that. If we just focus on staying home and stick to a healthy and happy routine, no matter what happens in the newspaper, we will soon be back to normal. And speaking of normal, one of the most important things that gamers forget to do is an everyday triviality: talking. Again, this may seem a little unnecessary, but believe me, it seems like our brain works on the basis of speech. Try to think of any idea, solve a problem, or plan your day without thinking a word. Well, many may find that extremely complicated. Therefore, it may be good to get the brain working again, even if it's through small talk with family or friends by phone. It doesn't hurt to try. Finally, one of the most abstract and difficult things to understand, for me at least, is the secret to happiness. Well, you can't exactly call it that, because being happy is a very complex combination of factors. Nevertheless, I can share with you what I consider good practices to be happier according to my own experience, and if I can help someone, it'll already make me happy. I'll tell you a little bit of my story to make it easier to understand the idea. I used to watch videos constantly until recently, and I have something very important to tell you if you will give me the chance. Many of the videos that I watched used to have something great in them, and that impressed me and left me dreaming of being able to do what they presented in those videos for me. That's how I came to desire games, steering wheel simulators, and even cars in real life. That was good in the beginning because it gave me a goal to guide me on the right path through life. However, it came to be something negative over time, since it started to make me sad that I couldn't have what I dreamed of and was showed all the time. I bet this has happened to you at least once before. If so, pay attention because this was a little more serious with me, since it led to a depression and it was very difficult to get over it. So, I want you who are watching me to think a little bit and not be sad because you maybe cannot have the games I present or maybe the equipment I use or even what people show on YouTube. Understand that true happiness is something that comes from within and does not come from things we buy or own. It can come from something as simple as smiling at a special person. Therefore, start to practice gratitude for anything, however small. Also realize that having a sad or mad expression because of something bad that may be going on won't help at all. A smile, a slight soft expression on your face is enough for you to develop more positive thoughts throughout the day and be happier with whatever happens. In the spirit of thankfulness, I am very grateful to you who watched this video. And even if I don't base myself in formalities, I speak from experience and maybe that can help you in some way, which would make me very happy indeed.